It's great to have you with us on The Full View. President Cyril Ramaphosa showed face at a meeting of the National Working Committee of the ANC today, and he made his first public statement since the Phala Phala report was released. It was very brief. He said that he had recused himself from the NWC meeting so that it could interrogate the matter. Ramaphosa said simply that he will account to the National Executive Committee, as that is the body empowered to take any decision. That is the highest decision-making body of the ANC between conferences, and it will be meeting tomorrow. What do all the developments mean for governance now? We're asking William Gumede from the Wits School of Governance. Thank you for being with us, William, as always. There was a lot of speculation a few days ago about what the president would or wouldn't do. It seems, given his jovial remarks even today, he's definitely not going to resign. We're in for a fight. Do you believe we're in for a process now that may be lengthy, protracted, very contested?
No, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be with you. I think from a governance point of view, I think maybe the first thing I have to say is, the parliamentary process this time has been, they've learned out of the experience from the Zuma years, when Parliament had all of this no vote of confidence in Zuma and it dragged on. Now they've tightened all of the accountability and governance loopholes by having, this process where it is the independent panel who investigates and makes a recommendation. So from a governance point of view, really a giant improvement from the Zuma years. So there is still a couple of governance processes. So if President Ramaphosa, as it appears to now, is going to take it on, he's going to take the fight, he's going to take the report for review, he's going to fight within the ANC because he also needs to fight with the opponents in the ANC, people who oppose him and so on. There's going to be another governance process parallel, which is very much out of control of President President Cyril Ramaphosa, apologies, and the ANC. And it is the parliamentary process because, opposition parties will next week propose a motion of no confidence, a vote, an impeachment vote. That obviously is one other governance mechanism. And now from a President Ramaphosa point of view, he would not be certain whether he would get the majority of the ANC's caucus, the members of parliament, whether they would vote for him or vote with the opposition.
Well, that would be unprecedented, right? We have always expected the ANC to close ranks behind the president. That was the case in Nkandla. And let's talk about this because the opposition parties are saying that they will push for an impeachment process, push for a no confidence vote. And they're using this word that it would be irrational for Parliament not to follow through here. And is there real clout behind that? Because Zondo found that Parliament had not done its job in relation to Nkandla, in relation to former President Jacob Zuma. So now there is this understanding that if it goes to the courts will say Parliament must do what it's meant to do.
Absolutely. And again, the lesson from Parliament during the Zuma years, Parliament was criticized by the Constitutional Court for not doing its job, for not playing its role, for not being proactive in oversight, and then leaving it to the courts, and particularly the Constitutional Court, to almost act on behalf, do the oversight on behalf of Parliament. And what we got from the Zuma years was that, the Constitutional Court made it quite clear that Parliament must play its role in its oversight role. And I think that is what's going to happen, opposition parties, why the opposition parties is pushing for that no confidence vote. Just on your question, why this is so different this time? Why is there not a rallying of leaders behind Cyril Ramaphosa? This year, unfortunately for Ramaphosa, is ANC party elective year, and that's really the big difference Right now, for the presidential election, Ramaphosa has, there's William Gumede, is just one of the top contenders, but there's also many other contenders for the presidential job. And then there's a second layer of people, the likes of Paul Masatile, who is fighting for the deputy president, and who may also be able to contest for the presidency. So Ramaphosa, this year actually has a lot of people who want him out of the presidency. And they are mobilizing against him also because they would want to have him out in order for them, to be elected as president of the ANC. And that is really one of the things that's different this time. It's a party, ANC party election year.
So it's interesting that you say that may even play out in parliamentary votes, which will be very interesting. Looking at the National Executive Committee of the ANC that is meeting tomorrow, putting the contest behind us, the factionalism, the divisions within the party, if the ANC was thinking just about governance, should Ramaphosa stay or should he go?
Unfortunately, the challenge is not just a government issue from the ANC point of view. From the ANC point of view, there's another challenge for them is that Ramaphosa has been consistently more popular than the ANC as a party. Now, that's a real dilemma. In 2024, we will have our national elections. Last year, the local government elections, the ANC lost it, and the ANC is on a trajectory of losing the 2024 national elections. Now, Ramaphosa brings at least a 10% extra percentage to the ANC's vote count. Now, so far, if you look at the polling, the last couple of months, if there was no Phala Phala today, the ANC goes into the 2024 elections, it is very likely the ANC will get under 50% stellar majority, something between 49 and 45. So then the ANC could then have a coalition with smaller parties. With Ramaphosa out of the picture, in the context of Phala Phala, the ANC is very likely to fall below 40%, makes it easier for the opposition, to come to power in 2024.
All right. Please hold it there. Thank you very much. William Gumede from the Wits School of Governance. Final question for you. I mean, we've been looking at the issues in the view of governance. What about President Cyril Ramaphosa's own efforts to reform? He came in on that ticket to enforce governance. If he continues, will the ethical clout behind that be lost?
Yes, this really has dented his image. And for Ramaphosa also, he's actually lost control now over the public narrative around the report. And there is, what is left in the public mind is that he hasn't been transparent about what really happened there. Even the task team, the inquiry, in their report, they bemoaned the fact that the basic information, they didn't get the basic information from the president, or at least the information they got did not sound credible. Now, that's not good from the president's point of view. Now, even if the president, let's just say the president survives this week, goes into the ANC National Electoral Conference, some branches and some delegates who may have supported him before may actually now doubt, following the recommendations from the inquiry, and may then vote for someone else. Or even if the president gets elected, let's just say he gets re-elected as president of the ANC, then there's the parliamentary process. So even if he's in control of the party, it's going to be a rough time for him, even from a parliamentary point of view. It's going to be very difficult for him really to concentrate on governing.
All right, thank you so much. So even if he survives some of these processes, it is going to get tougher going forward. That was William Gumede from the Wits School of Governance.